entered through the doors of a beautiful plush retirement center. The manager greets them.
Hello, welcome to Cherry Hills Retirement Community. My name is Gordon Chase, and this is my wife Violet. As the managers, we would like to welcome you to our lovely home.
Nice to meet you both. I am Catherine Wilson, and this is my mother, Mary Johnson. We would like a tour of your facility. My work is going to take me to England for a period of some 2 years, and I will be traveling, so we thought my mother would do much better living where she will have some companionship and help if it is needed.
More like a place to get rid of me. You could just rent a space in a mausoleum, store me there, and pull me out when you get home. Just as efficient and a whole lot less expensive, if you ask me.
Mother, you know I begged you to come and go with me, but you insisted you would not be happy in England and said you wanted to stay here in the good old U.S. of A.
Gordon, there was a note here from Joe Porter in apartment 421. He thinks we are not giving enough food portions and thinks we are trying to starve everyone.
I will talk to him this afternoon. Meanwhile, talk to Omar, the chef, and see if there is any way we can see that Joe gets larger portions. Ladies, let's go see some of our lovely apartments. Come this way.
The dining room, 2 weeks later. Mary and her friend Dorothy are seated at their table for dinner. At a nearby table is seated a couple who appear to be arguing. They are Luella and Brian Jones.
You are always staring at her. I don't know what you see in her. I am certainly better looking than she is. My skin is as youthful as the day I was 20. Well, maybe 25. Her hair isn't as curly as mine, and I have a lot more diamonds than she has.
I am not looking at her. I am trying to eat my dinner. Could we talk about something else? Or better yet, just not talk at all. And just let me finish eating my chicken.
You always find a way to shut me up. Don't you want me to say anything to you?
Is there a way?
Brian and Luella seem to be arguing again. He is such a nice fellow and very handsome too.
She has had such a hard time making and keeping friends ever since she got here. She never mixes in with any of the activities. It is a shame. She is rather attractive, but it's sort of unfriendly.
Later that evening, as Mary and Dorothy sit in Mary's living room, chatting,
What in the world was that?
Don't open the door! Look out through the peephole.
and Mary does peek through the peephole.
Oh my goodness. It is Mike Lafferty. He is tapping at Gloria Winston's apartment, and he is wearing his pajamas and silk bathrobe with a white scarf wrapped around his neck. And Gloria has opened her door, and she has on a pink chiffon nightgown. Oh my! He is going in now. And now the door is closed. Oh my! Oh my!
next afternoon, as the two friends finished dinner, they heard a shriek, followed by some excited shouting. Some of the residents rushed down the hallway, following the sounds, while the others sat finishing their meals. Suddenly, Gordon came rushing past the dining hall and disappeared into his office. Soon, the hush that had fallen over the dining hall was broken by the wail of sirens. 2 police cars pulled to a stop, and a team of detectives rushed past, following Gordon down the hall. Mary and Dorothy followed closely behind.
Dorothy, just before they closed that apartment door, I saw a woman's body. I think it was Luella.
Oh.
And she looked dead.
Oh my gosh! I hope she isn't. Why do you suppose the police are here? What could have happened?
I am sure I don't know. She seemed in good health when we saw her yesterday. I wonder where Brian is. I didn't see him. Gordon must have discovered the body. How horrible for him. I don't know how he kept his composure, but you know how calm, cool, and collected he is. The only way I knew he was upset was his necktie was missing. You know how he is always the epitome of grace and fashion splendor. But he had on a green shirt and no tie.
A woman enters the activity room and speaks to the assembled residents.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chief Detective Nora. There has been a serious crime committed on these premises. One of your residents has been strangled to death and her husband is missing. We have received a report he has gone to visit family in another city, so we think we can discount him as a suspect. Do any of you have any information that might help us?
What did she say? Well, I would like to know why the scoops of ice cream are getting smaller.
Is there going to be an increase in our rents?
And the iced tea is too weak. Oh my, do you see that blonde coming down the stairs? It must be peroxide. Do you hear me? The blonde. It must be peroxide.
Wait a minute. Who's cross-eyed?
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I need your help. Can anyone supply any information on this serious crime?
These resident meetings always go on for too long.
The detective throws up her hands in disgust.
I did.
We are now in Mary's room, and it is the next morning. There is a knock at the door, and Gordon enters.
Mary, you asked to see me?
Gordon, good of you to come up. I just wanted to ask a question about something that has been bothering me. Yesterday, I noticed you had no necktie. Later, I noticed you had changed your tie, and it didn't match your shirt. Now, I know Luella has been murdered, strangled, and I just thought a man's necktie would be the perfect thing to use. Is there anything you would like to tell me?
Gordon begins to remove his tie.
Mary, I am so sorry you noticed that. I guess you will have to join Luella now.
Just then, the detective steps into the room from Mary's bedroom.
Mr. Chase, you are under arrest for the murder of Lorella Jones. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Would you like to tell me what your motive was?
Yes, she was making my life miserable. Ever since I was made manager of this establishment, people thought it was my sense of good taste and that I picked my clothes and coordinated my wardrobe. Luella had found out I have a fashion coordinator who does it for me and threatened to reveal my secret. My reputation here at Cherry Hill would have been ruined. I knew Brian would be out of town and thought that would be the perfect time to get rid of my problem. Then Mary figured it out, and I thought she would have to go as well.
Gordon Chase, you are under arrest for the murder of Luella Jones. Mary, your information led to this man's arrest. Thank you. Mr. Chase, stand up, give me your tie, and put your hands up.
And I thought life would be dull at the old folks' home.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say I'm Glenn Campbell. I don't want to dispel any rumor that I had anything to do with this place. All of these events are strictly fictional, and the choices of my ties and shirts are absolutely my personal choice. I've never used a fashion coordinator, nor do I expect to. All fashion choices are strictly mine. If any doubt the validity of this disclaimer, please attribute it to your guilty conscience.